morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, good mid-morning, good brunch, good lunch, good supper, good dinner. I don't know what time it is where you're watching this right now, but it's about high noon here, even though the sun's not out, but that's okay. Today we're working on a new project. This project, you know, sometimes you're sitting on toilet or something, you get a good idea in your head, and you just want to see that idea played out. That's what we're doing today. Sitting behind me is a 1976 Dodge M880. So she was a military rig at one point in her life, and then she became a hunting rig with a, rack up there somewhere that you could drive. And then my brother got a hold of it, replaced a bunch of body panels, made it look way better, and now I got it. I have seen this truck run one time, and I've just had the idea in the back of my head to make it a dually and finish it, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm Tyler Dylan Cox, and this is TC Finds.
You know what we gotta do is turn the key.
No dice on third.
Beauty is only skin deep. Ugly goes to the bone.
Now, I actually am the one that put this bed on it like 2 years ago. I saw an ad for firewood and trailer, combo wombo, and I said, well, I don't need the firewood, I just want the trailer. So the guy sold it to me. It's an 8-foot Dodge step-side bed, and I thought it looked perfect on this truck. That was about the time I got the truck, and I put it on it, and that is it. Needs a little more work. Let's see what we got going on in here. This has been a place of stuff being accumulated over time, to say the least. I sold a car, cleaned it out, put a bunch of stuff in here. That's actually for my Power Wagon, even though it's a 67. It might be titled as a 68, I don't know. A grill that's, broken from a Dodge Dakota I don't have anymore, because I've been saving that for good reason. Oh! Oh no, it's cracked! Wow! This was the siren, whatever you want to call it, for my Power Wagon. The beacon. And it's broken! I didn't even know, man. You know, leaving stuff around. Coon could have gotten in here. Who knows what knocked it down. But that's disappointing. That really is. I guess it could be glued. Set that there where it'll fall in a second. Wiring harness that I don't know where it came from. Concrete. Yeah. All good stuff. Let's look under the hood. Well, it's in worse shape than I remembered. And for some reason, there is Whataburger remnants. That's all fine and dandy. Why that's in here, I do not know. So we got nothing special. 318 cubic inch V8. Everything's basic. Everything's here. I know it may have needed a fuel pump when it was parked. And that's about all I know. Dang, that's a honker of a battery tray. I don't remember that. That thing's huge. Maybe it's because it's the M880. That might be why. Well, I guess the right thing to do is to immediately throw a battery in it and see if it'll crank. Good plan. They get lighter over the years. No, they don't. All right. Is the black actually a ground? Yes. Okay. Ouch. That's about as stiff as my body in the mornings. Okay. At least these are good. Okay. Let's see if it cranks. Did I hide the key? As you can see, my filing system for these keys for all these rigs of mine is quite good. So now we get to go through every key. Start the time lapse now. I feel way better about my decision now that I found the keys for it. The unmarked key. Yep, this was our options left. That's not a lot of option. And I know what truck that's for, so we're doing good. So now that we have a key, we're in real business. Whoa! Did you hear that? Oh, we have positive crankage. But do we have spark? That's the real question when it comes down to these old Dodge relays. If you're asking if they have spark, they probably don't. They don't. Nope. Nope. Ah. It opened. Never close it again. If y'all's ever looking for a surefire way to find fire, this is it. Twist, anaconda twist. There we go. Slap that puppy in. And there we go. All right, we're gonna look at the light and see if we have spark. Well, here I'm looking like the fool saying we probably wouldn't have spark. Okay, we got spark. Whew. It's cold if you didn't notice how red my nose is and I'm acting all strange. It's cold. Let's see if we have oil before we get too far into this deal here. That kind of a lot of oil. Let me get a rag. So we have a quart too much. That's perfectly fine for a Dodge. It'll leak that out after you blink. Hello friends, this is me from the future. You're gonna want to take note of the oil we just looked at. Just remember that. And then do a comparison later in the video, and you'll notice there's some things that don't line up there, and you'll say, well, that happened, and that, just watch and see, you'll love it, All right, carburetor cleaner and see if it'll fire. There we go. That's all cleaned off. Will it fire up? Well, that was extremely promising. We're ahead of the game already. So what I last recall, the reason this truck was parked when my brother had it, he was having fuel flow issues or something. I know it has some weird auxiliary tank from when it was a hunting truck, but let's see if we can get it from the factory tank, or maybe we could rob a tank from a parts truck somewhere and get some good fuel flow. So let's focus on that next. There we go. There we go. For these, they like to strip easy, so using an old brake line tool or whatever kind of wrench you want to call this is typically the best option. You get all the grab for your go and you don't strip it. Okay. There we go. She's coming around. Ugh. Okay. We got that off so we won't be drawing fuel from somewhere we don't want to. That is hooked up, and this is not hooked up to anything. Okay, so we're gonna wanna get some fuel line ran, see if we could draw some fuel out of a can, and see if it'll start. Okay, so I thought there was a tank in this truck. There's no tank. So, I think the proper approach will be to hook up a just a little jerry can, and we'll figure the tank part out later. First things though, let's see if we get to draw fuel. So since there's no tank, we need to put this somewhere. And I think with our removable tin grill, but you haven't seen that before, we could shove this little tank right there. And boom, that kind of works. Might need a little more fuel line. It'll work for now, for our testing purposes. Now to see if it'll start to draw fuel from the fuel pump right there. Here we go. Okay, I think we're gonna have to try a different approach. We'll pre-prime it and see if we can get it to pull. That's always a good, fun part of this. It's always nice to get fuel in your mouth in the morning. That's good. So now that's filling, because we have the power of suction and gravity going on. Maybe now it'll draw fuel. The fuel pump might just be about dead. Oh, there we go. Ah. Okay, well, that worked. That worked out well. So we have fuel and the pump worked. That's a huge plus, because replacing a fuel pump's easy but never fun. Now to permanently asphyxiate our fuel tank somewhere and see if we got gears. We probably ought to put coolant in the radiator. Some say it's wise to do that. Hey guys, future me again. Ha, thought that was the last you'd see of me. Here's another point in the program that, listen to what I say and, you know, listen to what I say. I should listen to me. Let's keep moving forward. Now we've got our fuel system properly secured. Let's see if it'll draw and idle. Ooh, where are we leaking? Well, I'm leaking from up there. Okay. Need to fix a few more things. We're almost there. Almost there. Thought I'd get away with no clamps, that's what I get. As you can see, our fuel pump is leaking awful, so I am gonna get to change out the fuel pump. But maybe we don't have to do it in the field. Maybe we could drive it up to the house and get that far. So we're just gonna pretend that it's not leaking right now and see if it'll start and idle. Here we go. Well, that ain't gonna work. Oh, the alternator works too good. Ha! Look! At least we know the alternator works. And then That should be free. Here it is. Here's the old fuel pump. I don't know where it was leaking. Maybe somewhere in here. It just, I guess, saw its day finally and decided to kick the bucket. But I got a new one handy. We'll swap it on and do a take 6 or 2 or 3 or 104, whatever you want to call it. Life happened and it's 6 months later. Fuel pump isn't installed and she still needs work. Let's dig in. This comes down. Yes. Create a ramp. I'm having to remember everything. That's what I get for working on projects months apart. Huh. Well, there is where my good Cornwall ratchet went. Okay, I see a new fuel pump and I see an old fuel pump. I see a brand new pack of zip ties that surprisingly didn't go anywhere when I towed this down here. How did I even get it here? Oh, I tow barred it. That's right. We got a fuel system that's zip tied in place. We got an extension that I was missing. And yeah, so do I have the bolts for my fuel pump? That is the current predicament I am facing. Spark plug wire taken out of it. Had spark because it started. See a rotor. What's that? Okay, so here's the old fuel pump. Okay, got that. Did I put my bolts back in to hold it? No inner fender well, so nope, I didn't put them there. Let's get up on the deck. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, there they are. Happy day. So I got my bolts, got my new fuel pump. I am not seeing a new gasket anywhere. That's lovely. Lovely. Well, that's fantastic. We'll reuse the old one that has silicone on it and probably doesn't hold. Don't be like me and work on something and walk away for 6 months, because that's not productive. As I plumb our fuel system, I'll tell you a little bit about these M880 Dodges. So these M880s were produced in the 70s, and they typically came either in camo or military green. They had a pintle hitch bumper for towing, you know, those fancy military trailers. And some had like some type of cargo racks or something like that. And I don't know, that's about it. Some of them had like blackout light things, and all sorts of different options. This one I haven't decoded anything, so I don't have a clue. But it there's a little bit of it left, not a ton of it left. The front clip was replaced by my brother, and the hood, and I threw that bed on, which we'll get to that soon. The doors also replaced. So yeah, the cab and core support and frame are about all that's left of it. But that is just fine for our application. We don't need anything fancy, as you know. We just need to somehow start and maybe get down the road if we're lucky. We gotta get some rear tires on this thing. We gotta see if there's brakes. For those of you that are wondering, yes, I checked the master and it's empty. So that is perfectly good for having brakes today. Fun fact, I've been on Whose Line Is It Anyway? Live. My wife didn't record it, so I don't have proof. You heard that, honey? No proof. It's okay. Alright, so we got our filter here, our filter there to our fuel system here. That is going to be downright nifty. Stab this puppy in, and we'll be ready to throw the hot battery in and give her a whirl, as they say. I'll give it a whirl. It's from an old movie. I don't remember what movie. Oh boy. Cinch that down on there. It's already getting warm and it ain't even lunch. Ugh. Ugh. It's better now though than typical. I'm typically starting at 5. Okay. Guess it's time for a battery. Today's battery choice is a charged one. Ugh. I wore it on the tow truck yesterday. So that'll be perfectly good. We have clickage. I think the key's actually on. We have liftoff. So the last scene, I'm hoping I had that clip, or a few minutes actually, I think it was, to show you guys. But it ran pretty good. It idled even. Just go straight to the carburetor. We want to hurt it. Okay, it'll hurt you before you hurt it. Here we go. Okay. Are we pumping fuel yet? We got fuel. Yeah. Yeah. Down rough. Come on, empty. Now, perhaps I should check the oil. I already checked it. I'm just going to show you. You fine folks. Let's see. Can you see that? Perhaps. Yeah, it's milkshaked. Don't think it was milkshaked before. So it's either somehow moisture got into the motor. Somehow, we don't need to know exactly how. And we need to fix it by just changing the oil, or something bad's happened. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. So let's go ahead and drop the oil and put in some fresh oil and cross them off. Time to get a health report here. Let's see how good this looks. Oh, Lord. That's pretty bad. Why would it be that way unless the block cracked or something? It shouldn't have a blown head gasket. But this truck has literally sat up for years and years. I mean, probably 15 years it hasn't actually been used. So perhaps through all that, this all has come about. That's my hope anyway. Because, geez, she ain't looking great. Well, now, let's get some fresh oil in. Let's see if that does the trick. And some water, maybe. Some water. Well, while we let that trashed oil drain, we might as well do the brakes. We'll just give her a little bit in here. A little bit in there. And hopefully they'll just heal. Today we are using Lubricar diesel oil, mainly because it was free, thanks to Zane. And it was gonna go in that 92 Power Stroke we did a while back, but never ended up changing the oil. So yeah, should be putting this in my Ford actually, but you know, I ain't perfect. I'm just dumb. Oh yeah, you'll like this a lot better, guy. Be a lot more healthy. A lot more healthy for the wealthy and rich for the poor, you know? Probably not enough. I think these take what, 5 quarts? Something like that. Just fill her up. Drink it up, buttercup. We probably had 2 gallons of watery oil come out. So that's perfectly good. Okay, that's probably plenty of oil. Let's restart it, see how it sounds, and then we'll maybe add water. We'll just run it without water so we don't hear the bad sounds. Or so we don't mix it, that is. Okay. Oh, should hook up my battery. That might help a bit. There we go. Okay, got my rear brakes bleeding right now. Way happier. But I think that's the water pump bearing. I'm smoking a little bit. Now we're not. Let it run for just a little bit. Let's try add water now. I guess I could add water now. Why not? I sure hope that's the water pump. That rattles my shield in between the engine, the torque converter and all that. That makes me feel a little better. I just rattle. No way. That looks like fresh milkshake. Man, it runs good. What a shame. Yeah, I'm a mess. Let's go ahead and stop it. Well, this sucks. This really sucks. The block must have cracked. I mean, that's my only thoughts. It wouldn't milkshake that fast if it wasn't a cracked block. Wow, this truck was a good running truck back when my buddy Jared had it. Let me do a little investigating, but dang, this ship might be sailed. Huh, why ain't that something? Well, gang, as troubling as this is, I went to drain the oil, and sure enough, fresh milkshake, just made, which leads to the conclusion we have a cracked block. This truck was a running, driving truck as far as I knew. I don't know when the block cracked. It could have been since we worked on it, you know, in this winter. Maybe it got real cold, or the winter before that when it got really, really cold, or who knows when. But that's needless to say a bummer. Where could have even been before that? None of us I don't really remember or know. But I was really looking forward to getting this truck running. I mean, it's a super combo, you know. It just has that look. I wanted to make it a dually and all sorts of stuff, and maybe I will one day, but with the cracked block, we aren't going to waste any more time or money or efforts at the moment. There's more pressing matters, more projects, different things we could be tackling, but it runs surprisingly well, all things considered. But yeah, sometimes it just sucks, you know. We've had a few shin busters in the past few episodes, weeks, years, or whatever. But perhaps we may, I don't know, put an engine in it. It's titled, so that's better than half of these around here. Long story short, we ain't gonna fix it this episode. Thanks for watching, and thanks for commenting, and thanks for everything y'all are doing. We're getting there. We're climbing that ladder, but we'll make it to the top one year. Till then, subscribe if you haven't. I'd appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.